Happy Saturday, football fans. It's the greatest day of the week with a whole lineup of football coming your way. The themes of week 3 are rivalry games and non-conference opponents. 8 games on the slate today. Let's start off by looking at the matchups where there's a little extra incentive on the line. Who doesn't love a good prize and some bragging rights? SMU will be battling for the Iron Skillet as they head down the road to Fort Worth to take on TCU. The Mustangs head into this game at 2-0 for the first time since the 2009 season, and a big reason for their perfect start has been the combination of quarterback Ben Hicks and wideout Cortland Sutton. Sutton set the American record with 4 touchdown receptions in a single game last week against North Texas, while Hicks threw for over 300 yards against the Mean Green. SMU's defense has been no slouch either. They registered 5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and scored a safety in week 2. You can catch the Mustangs and the Horned Frogs at 3:30 Eastern on ESPNU. Staying in the wonderful state of Texas, it will be Houston looking to keep the Bayou Bucket on campus as they host Rice in an intra-city rivalry, a town that has been through a whole lot the past couple of weeks. And what better way to get back to some normalcy than a great college football game? These schools are only 5 miles apart, and it will be the first NCAA FBS contest in the city this season. The athletic departments from both schools are accepting donations for school supplies for Houston area students at locations throughout the city and at TD ECU Stadium on game day. Houston was the last team in the nation to begin its 2017 season, and the Cougars came away with a solid win at Arizona to get Major Applewhite's first season as head coach underway. Houston got solid play from new quarterback Kyle Allen, but the key man was once again defensive tackle Ed Oliver. The All-American delivered 11 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, and forced a fumble on his way to American Defensive Player of the Week honors. Houston also should get a lift from playing at home for the first time this season. The Cougars have won 15 straight home games, which is the longest active streak in the nation. And the third rivalry game on the docket will feature Cincinnati, who will look to claim their 12th straight victory bell against Miami of Ohio. The Bearcats head into week 3 1-1 on the season after a loss at Michigan last week. UC trailed the 8th-ranked Wolverines 17-14 late in the third quarter before Michigan was able to pull away. Quarterback Hayden Moore has thrown for 4 touchdown passes in the Bearcats' first 2 games. Today's game will be the 122nd meeting between Cincinnati and Miami of Ohio in a series that dates back to 1888. It's the second oldest rivalry in FBS football, only behind Michigan Notre Dame. You can tune in on ESPN3 or the Watch ESPN app at 8 p.m. Eastern. You won't want to miss those 3 rivalry games, but there are some other key non-conference matchups that will be sure to grab the country's attention today. The Memphis Tigers will host number 25 UCLA in front of what should be a great crowd at the Liberty Bowl. It's been more than 2 weeks since we've seen the Memphis Tigers in action, and this should be a duel of 2 of the nation's greatest quarterbacks. Riley Ferguson of Memphis is eager to do what he can do in front of a national television audience. The senior was the Americans' leader with 32 touchdown passes in 2016, breaking Paxton Lynch's school record, and threw for more than 3,600 yards last year. Ferguson did enough to lead the Tigers to a 37-29 win against Louisiana Monroe in the season opener, running the Memphis offense through a virtual monsoon. For UCLA, all eyes will once again be on quarterback Josh Rosen, who has the Bruins off to a 2-0 start after wins against Texas A&M and Hawaii. In 2 games, Rosen has averaged 410 yards and has thrown 9 touchdown passes without an interception. The difference in Saturday's game could come down to special teams, and that could play in Memphis's favor. Tony Pollard was the American Special Teams Player of the Year in 2016, and he picked up right where he left off with a 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in the season opener. You can catch this one at noon Eastern on ABC. Also at noon, UConn will take on Virginia. The Huskies are 1-0 after coming back to beat Holy Cross in week 1 of the season. Bryant Sheriffs came in off the bench to lead the rally at quarterback, engineering 3 scoring drives in his first 4 series. The Huskies have won the last 2 meetings against the Cavaliers and will look to make it a third. This one will be televised on ESPN2. At 3 p.m. Eastern, it's a nationally ranked, unbeaten team against a squad that's in search of its first win of the season. But as recent history has shown, ECU is capable of beating anyone at its home stadium. And the Pirates are hoping to take down Virginia Tech Saturday for win number 1. ECU has made it a habit of scoring wins against ACC teams at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. The Pirates knocked off NC State last year, took out Virginia Tech in 2015, and rolled past North Carolina in Greenville in 2014. If a win in 2017 is to follow, the Pirates will have to shake off a pair of sluggish performances to start the season. On the other sideline, American Athletic Conference fans will see a familiar face as former Memphis coach Justin Fuente leads the Hokies. Virginia Tech has gone 4-1 in road games under Fuente, who has Virginia Tech ranked number 16 nationally coming in. You can catch this one on CBS Sports Network. At 6 p.m., Tulane will hit the road to take on Oklahoma for the first ever meeting between the two schools. The Green Wave is coming off a heartbreaking loss at Navy, while the Sooners collected a big win against Ohio State last week. You can catch this one on Fox Sports Oklahoma. And at 7 p.m. on ESPN3, Tulsa will face Toledo on the road. The Golden Hurricane bounced back after a tough loss in Week 1 at Oklahoma State. 66 points last week propelled the Tulsa offense past Louisiana, highlighted by running back D'Angelo Brewer, who rushed for a career-high 262 yards on his way to Co-Offensive Player of the Week honors. The 667 yards against the Raging Cajuns were the most for Tulsa under third-year head coach Philip Montgomery. Enjoy the games today, and remember, we'll have power plays from all of this week's action tomorrow and announce Players of the Week on Monday's all-new episode of The Rise. Make sure to check back for highlights all day long right here on the American Digital Network.